my history professor my history professor told me everything that I learned before. History today was a lie. He said that Abraham Lincoln only freed the slaves in the states that went against the Union. So in case you were still in the Union, it was okay to have slaves. Separation of illusion, everything's connected. Another professor in biology said, in case I teach you nothing else, that college teaches you to question everything. And I raised my hand and I was like, so I'm supposed to question you even though you up there teaching? He was like, you get it. Shout out to motherfucking KDOT serious. My bad, my bad. He said you get it. And then he asked class to look up UFO Disclosure Project. So I've been on that since 2009, 2010. They also gave us a paper and said, imagine what the world would look like in the next 100 years. This is that paper. It's not the same one that he gave us, but I looked on the internet and found the statistics. So, like I said, have your own experience. Don't take my word for it. This will boggle your mind. The year is 1909, 100 years ago. What a difference a century makes. Here are some statistics for the year 1909. The average life expectancy was 47 years old. Only 14% of the homes had a bathtub. Only 8% of the homes had a telephone. Now, I put some dashes, meaning I'm going to talk about this a little bit, not just read, keep on reading, but only 8% of the homes had telephones. Man, I grew up with the telephone in the home, and you had to have the cable hooked up to the computer just to even get on the internet, and then you couldn't even get calls. So it was only a little bit of time that you even had on the internet. We used to always run around getting people's numbers and, try to meet them outside of school. Like, to think that only 8% of homes had a telephone, it's mind-boggling. There were only 8,000 cars and only 144 miles of paved road. Oh my gosh, that first off, 144 is Fibonacci. In case that don't hit you, yeah, to me, vibrant numerals. But when I think about 144 paved miles of road, it doesn't even say highway, road. See if this still recording. I'm checking if this still recording. We still recording. Okay, so yeah, when you think of 144 miles of paved road, it's like when I think about holidays and people like going to the beach, or we're going to Florida, or we're going to just going to Atlanta. You know what I mean? We're going to Magic City. It doesn't matter. Like we go take that trip. I don't think people is actually getting into a horse and a buggy in the rain, like and making that trek through the open wilderness, because it wasn't that much road paved. Meanwhile, the maximum speed limit in most cities was 10 miles per hour. The tallest structure in the world was the Eiffel Tower. The average wage in 1909 was 22 cents per hour. The average worker made between $200 and $400 per year. A competent accountant could expect to earn $2,000 per year, and a dentist $2,500 per year. A veterinarian between $1,500 and $4,000 per year, and a mechanical engineer about $5,000 per year. More than 95% of all births took place at home. I put a dash right there because I wouldn't have been able to do that. Somebody's going to have to come up here. 90% of all doctors had no college education. That is a big, Wow. And I put dashes by both of these, so, you know, we're moving along. We're moving along. These both have dashes by it, so I'm going to talk about it a little bit more. But 90% of all doctors had no college education. Now, it seems like everybody is, you know, going to the doctor thinking that the doctor is going to help and the doctor is going to save them, and not a lot of trust or faith is put into their own research and, you know, taking control of their health personally instead of saying, hey, yo, fix me, I'm broke. Meanwhile, instead of attending so-called medical schools, many of which were condemned in the press and the government as substandard. So, like I said, it's big now because malpractice or incidental injury is the third leading cause of death in the United States. That means the doctor kills the patient. So, 1, 2, 3, the third leading cause of death in the States, it's spooky. You know what I mean? It's going to the doctor thinking, hey, he's gonna treat me and have my best interest. That ain't the case. We all know that ain't the case. Sugar cost 4 cents a pound. Eggs were 14 cents a dozen. Coffee was 15 cents a pound. Women only wash their hair once a month and use borax or egg yolks for shampoo. This is my first take too, by the way, so in case this goes up, drop a like. Canada passed a law and prohibited poor people from entering their country for any reason. That right there is the reason why I'm making this video. I mean, not the whole thing, but like I said, this ties into separation is illusion. Everything is connected. But Canada passed a law that prohibited poor people from entering into the country for any reason. And we already know who plants the flag up north, who claims they supposed to be from the north, and blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, that's the type of arrogance and, like, the entitlement that we're dealing with. Like, meanwhile, the 5 leading causes of death were pneumonia and influenza, tuberculosis, diarrhea, heart disease, and stroke. So if you got heart disease up there, that's still top 3 leading causes of death. You know what I mean? I give you the last one is cancer. So cancer, heart disease, and malpractice is the top leading 3 causes of death. It's spooky to think that the doctor is supposed to have their hand or a handle on all of those 3 things. Like, they're supposed to be helping you with the cancer and the heart disease. But you end up not getting help, and they're the third reason why you may end up leaving. Maybe it's because of vaccination or something. The American flag had 45 stars. My bad. That didn't have a dash by it. I just got triggered. The American flag had 45 stars. The population of Las Vegas, Nevada was only 30. Hey, baby love, baby love. The population of Las Vegas, Nevada was only 30. Oh my gosh. There was no Mother's Day or Father's Day. In 1909, there was not a day to celebrate mothers and fathers. And that's, I put a parentheses around that because when I was raised, my mom said there was my mama and my daddy. So, you know what I mean? I was raised like that. And so that means my brother had to be the father figure I looked up to, which in my mind, that was my dad. 2 out of every 10 adults couldn't read or write. Only 6% of all Americans had graduated from high school. Oh my gosh. And they make it like a, you need this, you don't need this. Marijuana, heroin, and morphine were all available over the counter at the local corner drugstore. Back then, pharmacists said heroin clears the complexion, gives buoyancy to the mind, regulates the stomach and the bowels, and it is in fact a perfect guardian of health. 18% of households at least had one full-time servant of domestic help. 18% of households had at least one full-time serving of domestic help. There was only about 230 reported murders in the entire USA. This is 2009 now. Like I said, this happened in 1909. So, 230 reported murders. When Kanye said there was over 600 murders in Chicago this summer alone, and Black Lives ain't saying nothing. Like, Black Lives Matter ain't saying nothing. I was like, that is a bar, bro. Which really got him canceled. And then, like I said, he had to cancel his tour. And then they put him in institution, probably a school for feeble-minded. Meanwhile, wow. Try to imagine what it may be like in another 100 years. So, like I said, this is the paper that my professor gave me. Now I'm gonna go back and see if it's still recording. Still recording. Oh, we still recording at 11 minutes. At 11 minutes. Okay, so in 2009 and 2010, I was in college, and I've been working on two pieces for real since April and this is about the GNX, and then I started working Half Y'all Don't Know Kendrick. This is the notes from the Half Y'all Don't Know Kendrick. So like I said, I got the notes. I just have been having the moment to get out here and do it. Which, like I said, all it takes is getting in front of the camera and getting it up. Fibonacci, that's how I knew 144 is Fibonacci. Again, just more notes. This right here, next one is the breakdown for the Euphoria, which I messed up, but so I'm gonna spin the block and redo that one, make it shorter. And then here we are. This is the one today, and the first one I was working on was the downfall of Don't Rap Against Kendrick Ever. Of course, after what happened, everybody was talking about it, but I don't like how people just jump ship so quick. Like they wasn't banging or listening to everything the other side was putting out. Like, I seen people wearing OVO shirts, you know what I mean, during the battle, and it was like, man, bro, now you over here jumping on this nigga's head like he did something wrong, bro. Like, meanwhile, I always say there's a light side and a dark side, meaning to everything. Everybody's got a good side, everybody's got an evil side, and people only want to post their highlights on social media. So you may think this person is a saint, you know what I mean, just because of what you've seen on their page. But like I said, when they get off the page in real life, totally different person. You may see that same person and they ain't positive. They're not compassionate. They're not a bright beacon of hope that you can lean on. Meanwhile, that's just, like I said, everybody has two sides, good and evil, light and dark. It doesn't matter, positive and negative. But it goes the same for countries and corporations. So you thinking Disney, or you thinking Apple and Amazon and Google, they're all good, and they got just as much on the other side as they do on. I'm a Libra, so I always see things as balanced. And Kendrick, you know, the Gemini, so he sees both sides too. But I think that's why we get along a lot. I get along with a lot of Geminis, probably because I balance out their extremes. So this is the first take of the downfall of Don't Rap Against Kendrick. So in 2009, they started to get a buzz, and they say they started from the bottom, but it wasn't like that. And I went to college at Kentucky, where John Wall was just now getting started. This is the beginning of the boom of the one and done in college basketball. I used to give John Wall and Marcus Cousins milkshakes outside of the student, not outside, inside the student center, but outside the door, not over the register. And in case the NCAA found that out, they would have lost their scholarship. They had to pay for the milkshake, but they wouldn't get NIL money. So, like I said, in case I would have said that before 2020, it could have been, oh, we're going to take some blah, blah, blah back. Like Louisville got their championship taken away because that was in the strip club. And meanwhile, I don't know why, everybody know Louisville won that. Dude broke his leg. Everybody's seen that. Meanwhile, just to show you, people forget about 2016 and 2020, which is kind of my main point of this channel, which is to remind everybody, like, yo, this is where we was at, and look how far we've fallen. And this is the nigga that took us there. Don't rap against Kendrick ever. So, John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins was talking about what's one of their best memories at Kentucky, and Cousins said the night we was at the Drake concert and they was all on stage. So I, meanwhile, wasn't there, but at the same time, I went to school with John Wall and Cousins, meaning we was on the same campus at the same time, and some of the parties, but I ain't seen none. I wasn't there. So Drake has been tied into basketball players ever since. And John Wall was like, or Cousin was like, it was before Drake even had a name or was even buzzing. So they was the first people to actually co-sign him, pretty much. And so in 2009, 2010, that was around the same time Wayne went to jail. So we all know what happened when Wayne went to jail. Fucked on Wayne girl when he was in jail. That's conniving. Then get his face tatted like a bitch. Now, like I said, this is something that I've been working on. So we're going to start in 2009, and then we're going to move to 2013, and then we're going to go to 2017. 4 years apart. So, next page. In 2009, Lloyd made a song with Young Money, Bedrock, and the only reason Drake even got the position of the singer was because Lloyd left to do a solo career. So when they used the song, Drake would come up and sing and be the hook man. The only reason this nigga is the singing nigga of Young Money is because Lloyd left Young Money. And like I said, he left because Wayne went to jail, couldn't get the promotion. I don't know. Meanwhile, it's none of my business why he left. I'm just saying this is the start. Do Right and Kill Everything. Because before it was Don't Rap Against Kendrick, I used to call Drake Do Right and Kill Everything all the time. Meanwhile, I was listening to Do Right and Kill Everything because of Young Money and the whole Young Money roster. It was a thing. So it was Young Money and good music. It was some great time to be alive. So Lloyd does his thing. Drake steps up and, or you know, Do Right and Kill Everything steps up, starts taking over, and immediately they started, you know, popping off the young spitter that everybody in rap fear. Like, the game needs change, I'm the cashier, meaning this nigga works for the store, not like us, where we come in and you know, we give our art, you know, sell it. This nigga works for the store, so this nigga gets everything he wants just to make content, like he really about that life, but he's not. They had a song coming out with Lil Wayne and Eminem, and it was a whole LeBron thing. Like, who gets that from the bottom? Like, who comes into the store and gets a track with Lil Wayne and Eminem? Like, that ain't happening. You know what I mean? Unless you work for the corporation, for the company. You know what I mean? So, in 2013, I used to listen to Drake every day. Do Right and Kill Everything every day. As soon as Nothing Was the Same came out, Every day I listen to it. Every day we in the kitchen banging Drake, prepping. Every day in San Francisco, I got a whole different. I could do a whole lot of videos of just stuff that happened in San Francisco, but I'm not. But just to show you how high this dude was up. So, like I said, you can't have a fall without showing the progression, like the peak. Like, when was the peak of Drake? That's why I said we started in 2009 and we're in 2017, because in 2013, up there, like they were upset because they didn't get the time cover. Old buddy from Hunger Games, got it, and they was upset about the control. Control took over, and like I said, 2013 is where we are now. That's also when I started listening to Kendrick, Good Kid, and to Section 80. And I said he's the best rapper alive. Like, in 2013, San Francisco, that's when I crowned Kendrick the greatest rapper ever. And it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. But everything's connected. Separation of Illusion. That's another video. And in 2017, I saw Drake do Right and Kill Everything. We just gonna call him Drizzy. Or the Drizzler. The PDF. I saw him at Big Blue Madness, and now I came back from San Francisco. I'm working for the basketball players, so I'm working for SGA. I knew SGA was SGA in 2017-18. Now they're, the actual MVP of the league. So something I knew, we was waiting on Do Right and Kill Everything to come, because he said he was gonna have a concert for us. Meanwhile, Spin Black 2009, the concert with John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins was the starting point. So in case you go from 2009 to 2017 and just the iterations of basketball players that Kentucky has, and they banging Drake, they banging Do Right and Kill Everything. It was 2017 when somebody in the lodge, that's where I worked at, in the lodge, asked me, what's the better album? Is it Take Care or is it Views? And I was like, well, I'm going to have to listen to him before I give you my opinion. I ain't just going to just tell you what I think. And like, all right. So I left, listened to both of them, came back, and I was like, Take Care is better than Views, and it's sad to say, because that means his best work is his first album. And now it's 6 albums in. It's like, damn, bro. Like, wow. Now, again, the concert got canceled. Surprise, surprise. But in 2017, that was, like I said, for me, the best year in music. The 2007 to 2017. And by then, we have gotten the Hot Part 4. So you already know where I'm going to head with this. But yeah, I mean, like, don't tell a lie on me. I won't tell the truth about you. That was in 2017. And all of this was before 2020. And there was no NIL deal. So, man, boy, like I said, that's just the first video. And hopefully y'all like it. The next video coming soon.